Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Anna Pike, and today I wanted to film a video that nobody requested, but I feel like a lot of you guys would find helpful, and a lot of people that are interested in going into the healthcare field would find helpful as well. When I was researching what I wanted to do in healthcare, I was so indecisive. I still kind of am to this day. I really struggled with deciding if I wanted to take the PA route or the NP route. So I know a lot of people have this issue that want to go into that type of field because they are both so similar. There are some key differences, and I just kind of wanted to go over them. You know, why not kind of put everything into a comprehensive video? I know a lot of you that like or follow me are interested in like my healthcare content, my school content. Hopefully this video can give you guys some insight, clear some things up for you. I'm gonna try to make it quick because my camera is about to die. So, did a couple hours of research just to make sure I had all of my facts correct. So I'm just going to open up to that page. Both PAs and NPs have similar job descriptions and responsibilities. Both can work in any specialty. They can both work autonomously, and they both require further education past a bachelor's degree. They make a very similar salary, but both are going to be caring for the patients, diagnosing, treating, prescribing medications. So a PA stands for a physician assistant, and an NP stands for a nurse practitioner. So I just kind of wanted to get started on like the big thing that I think most people are curious in is the education to get to a PA versus an NP. So to become a PA, you can pretty much start in whatever you want. You can major in whatever you want. It's definitely preferable to major in a science because you will hit those science prerequisites. Both NP school and PA school require prerequisite courses. So with PA, you can major in anything. You can major in art, you can major in history, you can major in accounting, you can major in whatever as long as you're getting those prerequisites that you need. For PA school, the prerequisite courses vary from school to school. However, they're pretty much the same. Pretty much all of your science classes, anatomy, physiology, microbiology, regular biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, all of those fun courses that we all love so much. You do need to take those, so it definitely is beneficial to get a degree that kind of covers those classes. My degree was a science degree, however, it was focused very heavily on nutrition and dietetics since that's what my major was in. So once you have completed your prereqs and you have a bachelor's degree, you tend to need about 500 to 1,000 hours of patient care experience. So a lot of times people will finish their bachelor's degree and work for a little bit to gain the patient care experience in order to apply to PA school. It's very competitive, and more than 1,000 hours is recommended and probably required in most situations, along with a cumulative and science GPA of a 3.0. Again, like I said, it's extremely competitive to get into PA school, so the average is more between a 3.5 and a 3.7, I would say, from the research that I've done. So kind of looking at the NP side of things, you do need a bachelor's of science in nursing. So you cannot get a bachelor's in whatever you want. Well, I take that back. You can get a bachelor's in whatever you want, but you do also need a bachelor's in nursing, so a BSN. There are 1 year or like 16-month long accelerated BSN programs where if you have a bachelor's degree previously that's not nursing, you can go to nursing school for a year to a year and a half and get your BSN. You can't have an associate's degree in nursing, you must have a bachelor's of science in nursing. In order to do an accelerated BSN program that's 1 year long, it does require prerequisites as well. So you're gonna need your science classes like anatomy, physiology, microbiology, biology, chemistry, all of that fun stuff. And then after that, you have to sit for the NCLEX, become a registered nurse by taking that certification exam, and then pretty much work. So I believe nurse practitioner schools require at least a year of working as a registered nurse. Nurse practitioner school, from what I understand, seems to be a little less competitive to get into. Still difficult to get into. You still have to be very dedicated to the profession. You still have to have that experience. You have to be a registered nurse, all of those things. Again, with nursing school, you have to have a pretty competitive GPA. You have to pass every single class. I think you have to have like a 75 or maybe an 85 and above in every class in order to pass, and then be able to take the NCLEX and apply to nurse practitioner school. So nurse practitioner school usually goes for about 2 years. However, a lot of the programs are majority online. So you can still work. I don't know if you can work full-time, but you can definitely work part-time and go to nurse practitioner school at the same time. For PA school, very intense, very rigorous. Again, it's similar to nurse practitioner school. They both run about 2 years in length. In terms of scope of practice, so both can diagnose and treat patients and both can prescribe medications and drugs. NPs tend to have a wider scope in certain states and can practice on their own in some states. I'm not exactly sure of the states, but I do know that NPs can open their own office. They don't have to operate under a doctor in some states, whereas a PA always has to operate under a doctor or collaboratively with a doctor. Okay, so sorry my camera died, but we're back. I believe we were talking about scope of practice and how physician assistants have to work under the supervision of a doctor. However, this is probably going to change in the coming years, especially with nurse practitioners being able to practice independently in a lot of states. A PA or an NP is it's a very attractive profession for a lot of people because it's very similar to being a doctor. However, you don't have to go through as much school and you don't have to do the residency and the internship and all of that becoming a doctor requires. In terms of the actual careers philosophies, PA programs and the PA profession tends to practice under the medical model. So this is more of a model that focuses on the disease itself and curing that disease or helping the patient with that specific disease. It's very science-based, very evidence-based, very much so getting to the root of the problem and solving that. There are plenty of websites that go into more detail about the medical model, but the medical model is also used by MDs and MD programs as well. Whereas NP, they use the nursing model. So the nursing model is more, I don't want to say holistic, but they take more things into account. They take environment into account. They try to focus on prevention. The nursing model is just more patient center focus versus disease center focus. They try to connect things as a whole. Both have their strong points and their weak points as well. So I guess it also is more so what you believe. And I think once you're in healthcare, you kind of get a feel for what way you feel is the best way to treat a patient. So that is another thing to take into consideration. And a lot of NP schools and PA schools will ask you that question. They will ask you questions regarding the medical model and the nursing model and the differences and why you chose one over the other. So that is some differences in terms of philosophy and treatment. Both have a amazing projected growth in the coming years. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in the next 10 years, the PA profession is going to grow about 30%, and the NP profession is going to grow between 26 and 31%. So both have a really great outlook on the future. Another really, really great thing for people considering this profession. It's competitive in terms of school, but finding a job, they're always in need. Healthcare is always in need. PAs and NPs are always in need. Doctors are in need. So it's really great and kind of an added stress that you don't necessarily need to have. Obviously, if you go into specialties that are more competitive, like orthopedic, surgery, dermatology, aesthetic medicine, those kind of things, they're going to be more competitive, but you can definitely work your way up to that. The job projected outlook for PAs and NPs, a big reason for why I am going into this career field. Obviously, it's something deep down in my soul that I want to do, but having that stability in terms of job outlook is great as well. Do doctors' offices prefer NPs over PAs or vice versa? Some instances yes and some no. I did speak with a doctor actually regarding this topic, and he works for a very large hospital system in Michigan, and he was saying that the hospital system likes to hire NPs over PAs just because of reimbursement purposes. I don't know if it's because they don't have to pay the NPs as much or if they get more money from insurance, but that depends on where you work and what you're doing. So overall, I think it tends to even out, but there may be places that are looking more for NPs or more for PAs. So that's something to definitely keep an eye out for, especially if you want to go into a certain system, hospital system or private practice. It's good to look in to see what they would prefer, PA or NP. The moment we've all been waiting for is salary. So both make roughly a 6-figure income. It's very comfortable. Typically for PAs, the salary tends to run from $98,000 a year to $117,000 a year. The highest paying state for PAs that I could find was New York, which makes sense because they do have a higher cost of living. And the highest paid specialty is emergency medicine for PAs. The salary does depend on how long you have been in the field and what specialty you go into and the state that you work in. I do know a lot of like rural areas are paying more, a lot less people are willing to work in rural areas. That definitely can contribute to salary. In terms of NP, the salary from what I found tends to run from $92,000 to $119,000 a year. Again, the highest paying state is New York. Anesthesiology and psych tend to be the highest paying specialties in nurse practitioner. Anesthesiology kind of takes a different path in terms of schooling. It definitely is the highest paying specialty for nurses getting advanced degrees. They make the most amount of money. They are making upwards of $200,000 a year, but they have a different route in terms of schooling. You still become a nurse, you still get your BSN, but you go into a CRNA program versus an NP program. So yeah, that's pretty much the main differences, the things that I could find. If you guys have any added information, please let me know in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful, gave you some insight and maybe some idea of what direction you want to go in. I know it can be very difficult because both are such amazing specialties. It's just what route you want to take, how you want to practice, where you want to practice, all of those things you need to take into consideration. If you like videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below what else you would like to see. That will conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.